Hi guys, it's David here from Beyond the Kingdoms, and I'm so excited because today we're doing something I've done in the past, but in a whole new way. Today's Q&A episode is extra special because not only am I going to be answering your Walt Disney World and theme park questions, but my friend Korliss is joining me.
Hey David!
Korliss is a big Disney fan just like the rest of us, and she also runs her own blog and website called Your Disney Homegirl. But instead of me telling you about her, I'm going to let her introduce herself. And Korliss, why don't you tell all of our Beyond the Kingdoms viewers who you are, where you come from, and a little bit about yourself.
Well, David, first of all, thank you for allowing me to be able to do this Q&A with you. I'm too excited for this. And, I'm just so thankful and grateful and excited. I am Korliss, your Disney homegirl, who has been a fan of Disney for as long as I can remember. Similar to most Disney fans, we are lifelong fans. And I can remember taking my very first Disney vacation when I was about 3 or 4. My parents took me, and in our family photo album, they have still shots of me finding Minnie and running to her with my arms stretched. It's the cutest and sweetest set of pictures that I've ever seen. But that's how it started. It started there, and then as an adult, I've had the chance to visit a couple of times with just girlfriends. And then now that I have a family, married to a wonderful husband, and we have 2 children, 9-year-old son and 7-year-old daughter. And, having the opportunity to be able to, just escape and get away to Disney is one thing that we absolutely love, just to be engulfed and embraced and just full of all the magic when we visit the parks. So I decided to share my love and my experience of all things Disney. I was selected to be a part of the 2016 Disney Parks Moms Panel class. So I've had the chance to help hundreds of families plan their Disney vacations, and I just want to share this magic with more families of color, more Black families, to let them know that, if we save and budget, or however it is, whatever your budget may be, big or small, that you too can experience the magic, and also expose them to other programs that Disney offers through their education programs, as well as the college program. So I'm encouraging more students who attend historically Black colleges and universities to apply to this wonderful, wonderful program.
That's a great point you pointed out. Would you say that the Disney Parks Mom Panel you had the bug, like you said, from childhood, the Disney bug as we all call it. But would you say after your experience on the Moms Panel, you just wanted to keep going further?
Yeah, I wanted to have the opportunity to express my love and share my knowledge, the way that I like to share it. I loved every minute of being a part of the panel, and I will forever be a part of the panel. And I just wanted to use this opportunity to be able to reach more people, and to many Black families and people of color may not be aware of the Disney Parks Moms Panel. So I wanted to use that platform in order to be able to reach those that I can through my social media, through blogging, and expanding my YouTube as well.
Yeah, I've always said that there's never one way to do Disney, and I mean that in so many ways now more than ever. I think there's the generic way that we can all do Disney differently, in the sense that some of us like the rides more, some of us like the dining more, but I like you. When you see a lack of representation of who you are, you want to share that love and knowledge because of showing more visibility of who you are, and just showing all the different ways to do Disney parks, because there's a million great ways. Anyone who tells you that they're an expert and this is the way to do Disney is dead wrong, because there's a million ways to do it.
That's right.
I know that you and I can chit chat for a really long time because lately we have been doing that.
That's all right.
But I think we'll save that for another day. And we're going to jump into your Disney World question, guys, because you submitted some great ones. So for our first question today, I wanted to tackle with probably the most popular question on everyone's mind right now. Both Korliss and I got many versions of this same question, so we wanted to just tackle it up front first. So this comes from Danny on YouTube, and he says, wondering your honest opinion. I know everyone is different and has their own feelings about when to go to the parks and not go to the parks, given the certain situation we're in. And I, like you, David, live 3 hours south of Walt Disney World, and I have my annual pass extended to August 22nd. Just wanted to know if you feel it would be worth going. I'm going to let Korliss in a moment kind of give us her question, but I'm going to answer this from the perspective of a Floridian. I would say if you live far enough where you have to get a hotel, it would be worth thinking to bump this back a little bit. Even I, who live 3 hours south, it's still a bit of an effort to get in the car and stay in a hotel. Once you stay in a hotel, the whole thing gets much more complicated. I think if you live in Orlando, you can just go for the day or not. It's one thing. But for us, it's a little bit different. I also would say, I said this to my sister recently, I wouldn't necessarily cancel any plans you have in the books just yet. You in particular mentioned the end of August. That's almost 2 months away. A lot can change in 2 months. I would hold on to everything until the last minute, but please consider that you're going to be doing Disney in a very different way. It's really hot. I am 100% for masks in all public situations, but let's be realistic. A mask on a kid in particular in this heat is going to be really, really hard. So I don't think it's worth the big expense to do this really complicated version. So, Korliss, you had a similar question to this.
I did. It came from Johnny T from Facebook, and he asked pretty much the same question. Just like to know, is it better to go to Disney in 2021? And he hopes that things get better. I agree. I hope things get better too, Johnny. Mm-hmm. Our family in particular will be waiting until 2021. We're about 8 hours away from Orlando, so it takes a little bit more effort for us to get there. We typically fly, so that adds in another element. So if you're further away, you have to go through more precautions for, sanitation and healthcare, maintaining social distancing, and especially with children. Ours understand at 9 and 7 years old to, stay close to mom and dad and don't touch anything right now. But I think it would be more feasible to wait until 2021, just until Disney can actually figure out how they will go through the steps of keeping everyone as healthy as possible. Being mindful of those guests who have extra health precautions that need to be taken. 2021 is going to be a great year for Walt Disney World, celebrating the 50th anniversary. There are going to be tons of special events happening. And now that the parks haven't been open, I'm assuming that they're really in the works with, planning what all can happen next year during our visit. So from our perspective, being further away, having small children, having to get on an airplane, stay in a hotel, and all these extra precautions, I think it would be better to wait until 2021.
Yeah. I think it's up to the Orlando locals to go and keep the place afloat from a business perspective. I think further away, definitely wait. Okay, next, this is another, this next question is another one I got this in a lot of different forms. This is from Andy on YouTube. This is about park hopper passes. So Andy says, since I have a 3-day park hopper pass, can I get a 4th day instead, since we can't visit 2 parks in 1 day like we originally intended to? And Al on YouTube also had something similar. He's asked, have you found out anything about park hopper passes? I know you can't park hop right now, but what are the options for those of us who bought one? This is a great question. If you have a park hopper pass, Disney's going to basically tell you you've got 3 options. If they were date specific between any point in March, I think it's 13th, 14th, when the park's closed through later this year even, you can now use those tickets at any point between now and September 26, 2021. So Disney's first thing they're probably going to tell you is, why don't you consider waiting till further down the line, because we may resume park hopping and you can basically do what you intended to do originally of hopping around different parks in a single day. The other option, now that's easy if you've got your tickets and you booked your hotel separately, whether that's on property or off property. Just hold on to that ticket, figure out your hotel for later, and just use that ticket later. The other option, and this is handy if you have like a package with room and tickets all bundled in as one, you can modify the tickets. Disney's being a little cryptic on this, but I think essentially they're going to offer a refund for that little bit of extra money you pay for the park hopper. So they'll take a look at the base ticket value, look at how much you paid extra to add in the park hopper, and give you a refund for that. Again, I think they're going to push you to say just wait till later. The third option is just to cancel. Usually when you get tickets, they're non-refundable, but Disney's letting you cancel, get a full refund. So those are your three main options. And if you want to do that, the number to call is 407-934-7639.
All right, so the next question came in from YouTube, from Mitchell, and he asked us, I know you have to give yourself at least one full day at each park, Magic Kingdom and Epcot, to do everything, but I'm not sure about Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom. Do I need a full day at each to see and do everything, or can I do both together in a single day? Well, Mitchell, for me, whenever I give this advice, I always ask if this is the first Disney trip for you. If it's a first visit, then absolutely you need a full day at all 4 theme parks. There's so much to immerse yourself into each park. There's so many small details that you really want to see, especially as you walk through Animal Kingdom in each country that's represented there, and each land that's represented. There's a lot of details. Africa is my favorite area at Animal Kingdom. And, if you haven't been there before, now my family, we've been many times, so we can plan out our trip within 3 or 4 days, where we will park hop and we know exactly what we want to do at each park. But it is possible for you to spend an entire day in each theme park. Did a revamp, especially with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, as well as Toy Story Land, Galaxy's Edge. You really want to spend your time there, and don't forget that each park is totally different at night. So, if you end up splitting your day between a park, then you're going to miss what it looks like at night. And Animal Kingdom's Pandora is a beautiful sight. At night, it is illuminated. The plants are illuminated. And as you walk on the ground, it's really beautiful. And same at Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land and Hollywood Studios. You get to see the fun, colorful lights. You're in Andy's backyard. So it is the coolest thing. And you're a toy. So you're going to want to see what it feels like and see what it looks like to be a toy at night. So I would definitely advise you to, first trip, take your time. Get those single day passes and enjoy every moment. And it'll give you time to take a break during the day if that's what you like, and then come back and experience the nighttime festivities and spectaculars and fireworks and lighting shows that they have at each park.
I definitely, to add on just a little bit to that, in case I forgot who asked this question, but even if you're going soon and you think, there's going to be less people there because of like the whole theme park reservation and the coronavirus, I would actually still agree with Korliss that you can give a full day at Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, because they're going to have reduced hours. So yes, there's less people in there, but you have less time to do everything, so it kind of evens itself out. Definitely at Animal Kingdom, those animal trails, I can get lost in there for a good half an hour. I'm a photographer, so I like to take the pictures. So yeah, that's good. Thank you for that, Korliss. Next up, we've got a question from, I think it's Moira or Mora. I'm very sorry if I've mispronounced it, but this is a great question on YouTube. She's asked, can I use a face shield that protects my whole face while I move around the parks, and wear a mask for just the rides? This is a great question that I think you're not going to get a clear answer on, in a way. Disney's both been kind of specific what they classify as a mask, but also there's some vagueness to it. Let me first give you the rules. So Disney's saying what constitutes a face covering is something that fully covers your nose and mouth at the same time without you holding it. It must fit snugly and comfortably against the side of your face, be secure with ties or ear loops, and be made of a breathable material, so it can be either single use or reusable. Costume masks don't count, so it's not like you can go put on like a stormtrooper mask or something like that. The reason I say this is going to get complicated is because nowhere in Disney's website does it say a face shield is okay or it's not okay. And I feel that this is going to fall into one of those, it depends on how cast members interpret it at that moment. I don't think you're going to get a clear answer, especially in the beginning. I've heard, not seen, of people being able to walk around with just a face shield at Disney Springs. It's kind of vague. I understand why you're asking this, because you want to follow the rules but be comfortable as much as possible. Since you're planning to take the mask for the ride anyway, that's great, because I would say be prepared for someone to tell you, ma'am or sir or anybody, you can't do just the face shield. It has to be either both or the face mask. I think we have to wait and see till the parks reopen for a little bit, because I have a feeling Disney will clarify more as time goes on. So we'll see. Korliss, you got a great question on merchandise.
Yeah, this question came from Michelle on YouTube, and she asked, any clue why the parks are not sending merchandise to your room or the front of the park? Sort of a bummer if you do a lot of shopping. Do you think they will start this service up again anytime soon? Michelle, it is a bummer. I, too, am a huge souvenir merchandise shopper, and having the opportunity to have those bags sent to my room while I go and use my Fast Pass is awesome. But I'm sure right now what's happening, they're trying to eliminate contact. Mm-hmm. So the fewer people that your merchandise is coming in contact with, the safer it is for you. You know, fingers crossed that this will, be reinstated and the suspension will be, released very, very soon. But I am absolutely certain that this is in place for our health and safety, and that, they don't want to be able to, transmit any of the symptoms of COVID to any of the guests. They're wanting to keep our experience as healthy and safe as possible. And you can, though, however, have a cast member send your purchases to your house. You could have them ship your home, of course, with a fee. But, that's at least an option, that your package will be waiting for you when you get home.
Yeah. That's a good one. I forgot about that one. Okay, next we've got something from Barb. This is not a question, this is a tip. Barb has been a longtime viewer of Beyond the Kingdoms, and she always, when I miss something, she catches it, she sends me, she's very helpful. She's a West Coast girl as well, so she helps me with some of my Disneyland questions sometimes, even though I haven't been in years, but I'm just curious sometimes. Okay, so she's talking about theme park reservations. If you're an annual pass holder, you guys should know this by now, if you're an annual pass holder with a hotel reservation, you should be able to book the number of theme park reservations you can make is based off of your stay. If you're an annual pass holder and not staying at a Disney hotel, you're capped at only having 3 at any given time. And what she and I have both seen is that some pass holders with a hotel reservation, let's say they have a 5-night stay, they should be able to book 6 theme park reservations in their travel date window, but they've been kind of capped out at 3. So sounds like the computer systems are all tangled up and not letting them get the full 6 that they should be. So if you're a pass holder and you've run into this problem where you're not getting what you should be getting as a hotel guest, you can call 407-939-4357, and they can basically kind of untangle the mess and make sure you get what you're supposed to get. So that was very helpful. Thank you, Barb. Korliss, you got a great one on character dining.
I did. By email, Mina sent in, she asked, do you think they will open up character dining at the restaurants or stick to just table service? I'm asking since Be Our Guest is scheduled to open with the parks. That's a great, great question. We travel to Disney to be able to eat good and see our characters up close without having to stand in line and sit in some air conditioning. Currently, Topolino's Terrace is open at the Riviera Resort. with limited contact with the characters that are there, and they are actively accepting reservations right now. Similar to the merchandise answer, it's the limit contact. Hopefully, those character dining options that were available with buffet, they may turn those into table service or may have more cast members there to serve your food from the buffet line. But, again, we're hoping for a little pixie dust to come on down so that we can get this COVID under control and have the experiences that we love the most, which is, of course, any interaction with characters is what we like.
Yeah, I think this happened in Shanghai Disneyland, where they like when they were starting to reopen one of the character meals. I think they changed it that you didn't go up to a physical buffet; things were brought to the table. I think that's something we'll see down the line once they reopen. But this is, like Korliss said, a total wait and see game. Yeah, but on the topic of food, Jen sent us a message from Facebook, and it's for both of us, Korliss. So she's asked, of the restaurants and snack stands that plan to reopen initially, which one snack are you most excited to take your mask off for? That's a really great question. This one was very easy for me. It didn't take me a long time to think about this. I'm a Dole Whip guy, but my favorite Dole Whip float is the Peter Pan float at Storybook Treats in Fantasyland. This is the lime Dole Whip with the Sprite. It's my favorite one. It combines all of my favorite flavors all in one. And in this summer heat, it's very helpful. And I couldn't pick it just one. I had to put a second one in there. The carrot cake cookie at the Charlie Car Cafe, which is the Starbucks at Hollywood Studios. Every time I walk in that park, the day is not complete unless I walk out with one of those in a little to-go box to have later on. So those are my two. Korliss, what are some of yours?
I also have two. We also love drinks, and one of our favorites is Night Blossom at Pongo Pongo in Pandora at Animal Kingdom. Those little boba things, I really like those. That, when you first experience them and they kind of pop in your mouth, it's like, whoa, what is that? But they taste really, really good. And the mixture of whatever the fruits are that they put in that, slush essentially is so refreshing and so delicious. So we love always getting one of those. And then also over in Epcot at the France Pavilion, we love a good old chocolate croissant. We will go into that patisserie and we kind of have a hard time deciding. Typically, what I'll do is send the children to go with my husband to, take a picture with Aurora, see how she's been doing since our last visit. While I go stand in line and find out what sweet treats we can eat. So yeah, those are two of our favorite things to have.
I think anything in that patisserie in France is acceptable. Like any sweet treat there is great.
Yes. All right, so our next question comes from Dorothy. She submitted on YouTube, and she says she has a resort reservation from October 4th, 2020 until October 16th, 2020 at Fort Wilderness Campground, and they also have 10-day park hopper tickets. She wants to modify to next year and travel from September 26, 2021 until October 8th, 2021 at the same resort with the same ticket. She wants the same package. When should she modify? So here's what I say, Dorothy. Disney released the other day 2021 packages. And of those instructions for booking those packages, your departure date actually has to be on September 26th of 2021, which is the date that you want to check in. So what I would suggest to do so that you aren't penalized financially for wanting to change, or even having to cancel your upcoming reservation, one option would be to actually reschedule for sometime mid-2021. Since the packages are open, you can just have the same dates, same location. I mean, not same dates, but same package, same ticket options, as well as the same campground area, Fort Wilderness. And then once the September through the end of September through the rest of 2021 opens, then you can move that package to the actual dates that you like. I'm assuming that the rest of the 2021 dates will open either, close to the end of 2020, within the next several months, so that you should just be on the lookout for those. We don't have any exact dates since they just opened up the 2021, the beginning part of next year. But, that's an option. Of course, always call and speak to a cast member. There may be other options available for you, but that's what I would suggest, just to make sure that you can get the 10-day park hopper, the resort that you like, as well as making sure that you can have the dates that you want.
Can I ask a quick question? Did she say that her check-in date was September 26th, which is also like the cutoff for 2021 for next? Is that right?
Yes. So her check-in date she asked about is September 26th, which is actually the date for you having to depart from Disney for current 2021 packages.
I think you're right. That's a good idea to like book something else that is fully available right now, and then consider pushing back again if need be. But she sits in this weird gray zone where it would be worth calling because she may be allowed to because the check-in date falls right on that line. That's really tricky. That's really tricky. But good, thank you. Okay, next we've got a question from Carrie on Instagram. This one's a really good one. Is resort hopping allowed at this time? Can I park at Disney Springs and take a bus to a resort? I'm hearing different answers. I am not surprised you're hearing different answers because I think this is complicated. It's not as easy as it seems. The way I understand it at this time is that if you want to go to a resort that you're not staying at, you have to have some sort of dining reservation. Now that in itself is confusing because right now you can't make any sort of new dining reservations either in the theme parks or in the hotels anytime soon. However, I think Disney opened up for anyone staying at a DVC property between June 22nd and July 11th when the parks reopen, those guests could call up Disney, not do it online, call up and book a dining reservation at either their hotel they're staying or at another one. That's what's allowed those people to kind of move around at this time. What's confusing is that after the parks reopen, we know for sure that theme park, table service restaurants at theme parks are not going to be taking reservations anytime soon. At some point, Disney's going to open up the ability to book table service restaurants at hotels that you're not staying at, and it's going to have a 60-day window, so you can book it 60 days ahead, but we're in this weird gray zone right now. The other thing that's really complicated about this is that, this is just an example, if someone's staying at Yacht and Beach Club, at like Beach Club Villas right now, I think Stormalong Bay, which is the main feature pool between Yacht and Beach Club, is not open. So guests staying at Beach Club can go to the boardwalk to use their pool. So this is probably why you've seen a lot of different things. But to answer specifically your question about can I park at Disney Springs and just go anywhere, I think the answer to that right now is no. And in the future, when you can book something for dining reservations, that's going to be your only ticket in. That's how I understand it. It's complicated. Next, Korliss has got a great question about Disney Cruise Line. This is something I know nothing about because I've never been on a Disney Cruise Line. So she is the queen that really knows the answer to this one more than me.
Yes, this question came from Jill on Instagram. Hi, David and Korliss. Hope you're doing well, dears. The last time I went on a Disney cruise was years and years ago. I was wondering when is the best time of year to go? And also wondering if there's any news updates for the Star Wars hotel. Thanks ever so much. So, Jill, girl, we love a Disney cruise. We've actually been on a couple, but we really love it. We were scheduled to go on one in November of this year, but, for health and safety reasons, we just decided to push that out until 2021, maybe even 2022. But, there are, for us, deciding on when we want to take a Disney cruise really is just based on preference. There are holiday cruises that you can go on, Halloween on the high seas, the very maritime cruise. There's also a Marvel Day at Sea. There's Star Wars Day at Sea. So you really have to find what it is that you want to experience while you're on the cruise. Also, your port. It depends on, your budget and where you want to travel from. Galveston, New Orleans, Port Canaveral outside of Orlando, Miami. There are all of these, New York, Canada. We've all looked at the list at some point maybe of the ports that we can depart from. But, Jill, I would suggest that you decide in particular when it is that you would like to visit. There really isn't a bad time to visit. all of the experiences will be the same, except if you are cruising on one of those particular special event cruises. Mm-hmm. So if you want to have the ultimate Christmas time, then you're going to look at a Very Merry Cruise. If you are a huge fan of Star Wars, like many people are, not me, I don't ask me anything about Star Wars, I'm sorry. Then you're going to want to go. So you can see, I do know a few characters, Kylo Ren, some stormtroopers walking around, you'll get that experience. So it's really important for you to decide. I tell people often, you tell me what time of year is best for you, there's going to be a cruise available. And then, we can decide, and I can help you decide then what it is that you want to experience, based on your time of year. There is no bad time to cruise.
I was going to add in to you, Jill, specifically, because I know you've reached out to me many times with a lot of specific questions. I highly encourage you to just reach out to Korliss directly and ask her. I've done cruises myself, so I generically know a lot about cruises, just not Disney cruises. So please just contact her directly. Her word, I trust her word way more than mine. So don't be shy. Okay, next we've got one from Barb. This one came in via email. This one's another really good one about hotels. I'm currently wondering about noise levels in specific hotels. For example, I hear that the theme park view at the Polynesian has a fireworks view, but also has some noise from the boats. I've also heard that some of the boardwalk rooms are noisy too. So I guess my question is, what rooms should we avoid if we're trying to think about noise levels in our light sleepers? I would say the two examples you gave are probably the best examples of where noise can become an issue. The Polynesian itself, anything that has a fireworks view, yeah, you're going to get some noise from fireworks. It's actually quite minimal. It's not as loud as you think. I've stayed at the Polynesian once, but I didn't have a theme park view. I stayed in Pangu Pangu, which is actually towards like the parking lot more, so I didn't get any noise. The thing to know about the Polynesian is if you are in the, I think it's the Mora building, is all the way on the east end of the resort. It's really, really, really close to where the boat docks at the Ticket and Transportation Center. So the best thing to do in that case is, it's not so much about the theme park view, it's about avoiding that building, I would say. In terms of the boardwalk, I've never stayed at the boardwalk, but I have stayed at the beach club. Beach club really does not get a lot of noise from the lake. I think there's more distance from the hotel building to like the shore of the lake. The boardwalk, if you have a water view, that means you're facing Crescent Lake, and you've got the boardwalk directly underneath you. So the noise is not coming from the boats as much as it's coming from people just walking around, entertainers that are on the boardwalk, a little bit of music. It's not like, it doesn't carry on till really late in the night, but if you're trying to get an early night, you're gonna hear that. So at the boardwalk, just avoid water view. And then in general, at any other resort that's deluxe, moderate value, I would consider avoiding a pool view. Because any of those rooms that face the pool, we all know those kids, I've never understood it. They go to a theme park all day and they have enough energy to go at the pool at 10 o'clock at night, and they'll go until they get kicked out of the place. So the pool views are something else I would avoid. And one last one, at specifically All Stars and Pop Century, since they have outdoor hallways to the rooms, I find that if you're on a lower floor or near an elevator, you could get possibly some foot traffic of people coming and going with a little bit of noise. So I would go for a higher room. Every resort you stay at has a different list of requests you can make in terms of locations. Some are way more complex than others. So just think about those things. Pools, lower floors if it's an outdoor hallway, and those specific water views for the Polynesian and boardwalk. That was a complicated one, but I hope I answered it well. Korliss, you've got another Disney cruise question.
Yeah, this one's from CL Baker, submitted on YouTube. It says, I'm a solo traveler and interested in a Disney cruise. I love the kids, but don't necessarily want to share every moment with the kiddos on a cruise. Do you think Disney cruises will have enough adult fun on the ships? I don't gamble, and I'm aware that nightlife shuts down a little early. I'm totally okay with that. And then they also say they love the new content creator spot. Yes, David, I love that too, that you're highlighting all of these wonderful creators, and it's a great way to get more people in the mix. So, CL, let me say this. Look, we cruise every time with our children, but my husband and I end up being adult cruisers because they love the kids club just that much. They will stay in there from open to close if we would allow them to. So we spend quite a bit of our time in the adult-only areas on the ships. So you've got the Quiet Cove pool that's located in an adult-only area. You've got nightlife that's available where only adults are permitted. And for Disney cruises, adult constitute the age of 18 and older. So, like I said, nightlife, which includes clubs and lounges that children are not allowed on. We really, really enjoyed doing the silent DJ party where everybody wears headphones and there's a couple different DJs in there playing music. And that's some of my best video footage, watching everyone dance with no music. So we have no idea what the songs are when I'm replaying this. But we're having the best time ever. There's also, like you said, no gambling, but they do offer a family fun event of bingo. And there are cash prizes, which is fun. Our children love to play that. And if you're lucky, somebody could win, a decent amount of cash on those bingo games. But also know that if you are doing a Caribbean cruise, that at Castaway Cay, Disney's private island, there is an adult-only area. So Serenity Bay almost feels like its own island in itself on this private island. So you'll have, adults only 18 and over. Food is provided there. Lounge areas, if you're lucky enough to snag a cabana, those are available. Those always go quickly. But then you've also got fine dining. So at Palo and Remy, all the ships have either one or both. So you can reserve for a minimal fee, not much money. It's not included in your cruise fee, but you can have an elegant Italian dinner or French cuisine. Really, really beautiful experience there. And then don't forget, there's also the spa, salons, and areas where you can hang where there are no children. But then there are times you will see children passing along in the halls at the character experiences. But Disney has done an awesome job of providing a space for those adults who want to cruise alone or cruise with other adults only, or in our situation, drop our kids off and pretend like we don't have kids for a few hours. So, there's options for you. I would absolutely suggest that you take an adult cruise.
I would imagine that it's just like Disney World. All you guys know this. I go to Disney World, just me and my husband, all the time. He's not a Disney person per se. He didn't grow up with it. When we go, he kind of wants to avoid too much of the little kid stuff too. So to me, if you've come to realize how Disney World can be done purely for adults as well, I imagine the cruises are just the same, if not better, because there's more kind of hardline separation, like you said, of lounges and whatnot, where it's just strict 18 and over. So it sounds to me that's actually probably more adult friendly in a way than the parks. But
yeah, it is. I mean, and I failed to mention this, outside of course, we love our children. Outside of leaving, mommy and daddy do this aside on the cruise, so that you can enjoy some adult time. They also offer adult-only excursions once you get to the port. So you have that option too.
Didn't know that. I've never even heard of that on other cruises. That's amazing.
Right.
All right, so next we've got, now that comes the fun questions. This one's from Liz, and this is to both of us, Korliss. I'm going to let you go first, though, but let me just read the question. My question is theoretical. If you had a hidden spot at each park to relax, where would it be? For example, at Magic Kingdom, I would love a little private hammock inside the Swiss Family Treehouse. So this is great. At first I thought Liz meant like, where's your like kind of rest, your favorite spot to sit and take a break? But she means like, if you could really just take a break anywhere, even like where you're not supposed to be normally, where would it be at each park? That's hard to go for all four. But Korliss, I'll let you go first.
Yes. This is a really good question. And I don't think that I thought about this question hard enough, because I think, honestly, she gave the best answer. Outside of having maybe a cot over on Tom Sawyer Island for a quick nap, I really enjoyed the little cutoff space in the Magic Kingdom just past Crystal Arts. If I could actually, fit into, walk into one of those buildings, the facade, and actually just watch people from the outside, that would be great. We love that little nook. And I've thought about this too. At Animal Kingdom, I found a spot right next to Yak and Yeti. the local foods cafe, not the table service, but the quick service. Just to the right, there's all that seating. And I found that it's actually quite pleasant back there. It's shaded. It's close to the restrooms, and we can see the gibbons, so we can see the monkeys. They have a pretty large exhibit there, so we can see them playing around, and the kids really love that. We sat there for a long time and watched the monkeys, and then we also watched people coming and going from Cali River Rapids. It was great to see those expressions before they got on and then after they got on. Where would you go?
I mean, like you said, the Swiss Family Treehouse example is amazing. Like, I really could not think of a better one than that. There were two things that came to mind, and I think it spiraled off of this idea of like relaxing somewhere high up and kind of away from the crowd so you can kind of look from above. First, most people know this by now, I love the Tower of Terror. It's my favorite ride at Walt Disney World. If you notice, when you leave the gift shop and kind of turn around yourself and look up, there's kind of like a courtyard area above where the outside queue is. And I always kind of thought, oh, that'd be a great place to hang out. It'd be amazing if there was like a outdoor lounge or something for adults to have a drink and whatnot and just kind of look down Sunset Boulevard. And the music in that area, it's kind of creepy, but it's still kind of romantic and interesting. So I would think that's a good spot. And the second thing, it's quite similar, that I thought about was at the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot. I love the Mexico Pavilion. Mainly, this is horrible, mainly because it's indoors and there's air conditioning. But it's just, I love that it's like always nighttime there and it's always beautiful and romantic. And I thought similar, if I could sit on a balcony up in there somewhere just to relax, hear the water from the boat ride passing, a little bit of music in the background, that would be my relaxed spot. So yeah, that was a good question, wasn't it?
That was a great question.
Great question.
Definitely got my wheels turning.
Yeah. Now next time I go, I'm just going to keep looking.
That's right.
Okay, next we have one from Rachel. This is from Facebook. This is to both of us, Korliss. And this is actually 3 questions in one, so we're going to break it down in pieces. Okay, so first Rachel asks, are you upset about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party canceled? Korliss, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's sad. It's just, it's disappointing. It's heart, wrenching. It's all of these emotions flow when you think about these special events not being able to happen. And of course, Christmas is up in the air, which is my absolute favorite holiday. So it's like, God, no, like what else could be going on at Disney? What else could they take away from us? But I get it. I understand it. And I know why they've done it. And I am thankful that they've done it.
I'm same with you. Like, I know why. It makes total sense. I feel a little uncomfortable saying this, but it's the truth. I feel a little jaded. I've been very fortunate for the past 4 or 5 years. I've gone to the Halloween party every year. Last year I even went twice. I'm like you, Korliss. I'm a Christmas person, but I think the Halloween party is better in a way. But they've gotten quite crowded. I love doing the videos for it because you guys really like it, but it's an exhausting night. And so part of me, admittedly, is I'm kind of okay with not having one this year. I'll miss it a little bit because my niece's birthday's on October 30th. She's a Halloween baby. And we tend to, for her birthday, I'll go along on a trip with my sister and her husband and her as a little birthday celebration. So that aspect makes me really sad. But like you, I'm a Christmas person, and when I started thinking about Christmas parties not happening, I was really upset. I was like, oh my God, Christmas at Magic Kingdom is so magical. So it sucks. I get it. I'm somewhat okay with skipping a year. There's always next year. But I know that some of you don't go as often as I do. So I'm sorry if that's not the answer you want to hear, but it's the truth. Okay, next. The next question is amazing. Never thought about this before. What are your 5 favorite gift shops in terms of theming? That's I've never thought of that. Korliss, thoughts?
Yeah, me either. So here, I don't have 5. I couldn't come up with 5, but I did come up with 3. Mm-hmm. So the first would be the Christmas shop at Disney Springs, the Christmas shop at Magic Kingdom, and the Christmas shop at Epcot.
This is a theme.
Right, so that's my own personal thing. I just love going in there and finding whatever, Christmas decor that I can bring back home for my husband and look at me crazy like, girl, don't you bring anything else in this house? So yeah, Yo Christmas Shop, Magic Kingdom, the German Pavilion.
Oh.
Is it German? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the pickles. Yes, and then the Christmas store at Disney Springs.
Yeah. When I first read this question, I was like, man, what? Like, I had to really think hard. But then I realized I'm a Star Wars fan, so Doc Ondor's Den of Antiquities and Galaxy's Edge, that for me has got to be the best theming of a store. I think even if you don't like Star Wars, you can appreciate the level of detail in there. I'm a hardcore Star Wars nerd, so like every time I go in there, I just kind of look up and just kind of stare at all the little props and all the little helmets and try to find something else I've never seen before. I don't think anything else quite matches that level of theming for me, but I will say that the other store that I always go into is the Mitsukoshi store in Japan. I was very lucky about 7-8 years ago. My husband and I took a trip to Japan. It was one of these once-in-a-lifetime opportunities where the stars aligned a little bit. We had worked like double jobs for like a good year for good reasons, and then had this extra money to take a trip that we were like, this is our only shot to do it. Let's do it. We don't have kids or any responsibilities right now. So we did it, and it was a trip of a lifetime. And that store in particular, the whole pavilion reminds me of that trip. It's probably the best trip I've ever taken. But that store is very, very, very accurate to what you would see in Japanese department stores. Specifically, the ones that are tied into train stations. Like, they're amazing. Like, I don't think any other store that has this great merchandise and feels that authentically real to the real place. So that would be those are my two. I couldn't give you 5 either. I'm sorry. Okay, and the next question, this one's great. What character meet and greets do you want included that doesn't exist? I would want Cassandra from Tangled because she has such a great story arc. Great question. Korliss, favorite character we haven't seen yet?
Well, my all-time favorite character is there. Mary, I love you. Poppins, girl. You are it for me, okay? But I started to think about my family and the things that they would like to see. Marvel. In the parks. They would really love to see more Marvel experiences. Happy for Disneyland. You know, I hope that some of that energy can come over here to Florida so that we can have a little Marvel fun and interaction with Black Panther, you know, Captain America, Captain Marvel, I think is correct. I don't know all of them. You know, I try to keep up with of all the Avengers or whatnot. But yes, I would love to see more Marvel characters at the Disney parks in Florida.
Same. Maybe we have to take a trip to California together, Korliss, to get some Marvel on.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I thought about this one. This crossed my mind actually a few months ago. I kind of thought, you know, if my husband and I had a son, I would love for him to be able to meet some more princes. I know it's kind of a cliche in a way, but like when you go to the Christmas party, the princes team up with the princesses. It's really fun. It's a nice special photo op that you don't normally get. And I just think that'd be a nice fun thing to do with like a young boy if I had one. So to be specific, this combines that desire and the fact that I love Christmas. I would love a Kristoff and Sven meet and greet at the Christmas party, because it's like, he's a reindeer. Like, how has this not happened already? I think there's a missed opportunity there. That would be fun. That would be fun, especially since you don't get any Frozen characters during the Christmas party. You can obviously meet Anna and Elsa over at Epcot, but I thought, why not just, come on, it's a big hit. Just finish the whole gang up. Get them all in there in different places, at least at the Christmas party. That's my 2 cents. So that just about does it for all the questions you guys submitted. Thank you so much for them. Those were some really, really good ones. If for any reason, like something we answered wasn't quite clear enough, you want to reach out, please feel free to reach out to us, leave a comment below, whatever you want. But before I leave you, we're going to do a quick rapid fire session of questions to each other. Korliss and I have prepped some questions to ask each other about our kind of favorite stuff. But we didn't tell each other, so it was a complete surprise. And that way we can get to know each other a little better, you guys can get to know us a little better. So I'm gonna start off with you, Korliss. You asked me your 5 rapid fire questions. And the whole thing about this is just answer quickly. Don't think too much. Gut instinct.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
Ready. All right. Favorite prince?
Favorite prince? Oh, man. Eric. Prince Eric.
Movie that makes you cry?
Oh, man. This is a Disney movie, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
2. Inside Out was one of the first ones that I was like, it's a heavy theme, and that got me quite emotional. And this is totally cliche, but it's the truth. I watched the ending of Coco, and when that scene with Miguel and Abuelita, I died. I called my grandmother the minute I got out of that movie theater, and I was just like, "Are you okay? I love you." And I was just weeping like a baby. It was embarrassing.
Yes, I cry on that one too.
Every time.
That part too, yeah. Favorite attraction?
Tower of Terror. Wait, sorry, say that again?
Okay. Yeah, any theme park.
Anything but Tower of Terror. Easy.
Do you rope drop or sleep in?
If I was on pure vacation, like not shooting stuff for the channel, rope drop.
And favorite theme park?
Hollywood Studios. Easy. Wait, only Florida?
No, where have you been?
Oh, okay.
Any of them?
I said this earlier, I was very fortunate when I took that trip to Japan, I had to go to Tokyo Disney. Tokyo Disney Sea, hands down, best Disney theme park you'll ever go to. Easy.
Cool.
Oh, that's 5. Okay. All right. This is kind of similar to what you asked me. Okay, if you only had one park to visit on your trip, you only had one day, which park would you go to?
Yeah, I've been there, done that. Magic Kingdom every time.
If you could add one country to World Showcase, which would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one. I've heard that a lot. Oh gosh, that's a tough one, David.
Sorry.
What would I add? No, it's okay.
Do you want me to give you mine so you can think a little? Does that help?
Yeah, give me one.
If I had one, it would be India. And I was thinking from the food perspective. I know you kind of get it a little bit in Asia and at Animal Kingdom, but I wanted specific India. It could be like another Morocco, very beautiful and exotic and special.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's still tough for me.
I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh.
We can come back.
Maybe, no, I'm gonna go with Australia.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool to experience. Yeah, from a Disney perspective.
Get a little mini Sydney Opera House somehow in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm asking you this because you're a family, right? Best bang for your buck restaurant for a family. What do you think it is?
We doing table service?
Either like kind of just like best, like, you know, it's gonna fill you up, but it's a good value. Best bang for your buck. Either table service or quick service.
Yeah, our favorite hands down is Yak and Yeti Local Food Cafe. We always are able to. Yeah, that fried rice. We get a ton of that. We love some fried rice. We'll get a ton. I mean, and it's affordable. That's our favorite, hands down.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and my last one. If there was any ride at a different Disney park that's not at Walt Disney World that you would want added to Florida, which one would it be?
It would have. I like coasters. I'm sort of a thrill seeker. I would love to have the Incredicoaster. I think that's the right name.
Yeah.
At Disneyland. Yeah, I would love that. I cannot wait to go to Disneyland.
Me too. I've only gone once. I was 11. It was just a trip, me and my dad. It was really special. I think we need to go to Disneyland, you and me, Korliss. We can go together.
I think so. I am absolutely for it. I've been to the entrance of Disneyland. I went to visit my cousin that lived at the time. She was up in the hills of California. And we drove down to LA. And she was like, "You want to go?" You know, I was a starving college student at that time. She was like, "We can go stand at the entrance and take some pictures." So we did.
So guys, that will have to do it with all of our questions today. You guys submitted some really good ones. Thank you for that. And thank you, Korliss, for doing that rapid fire round with me. That was a lot of fun. If for any reason we didn't quite explain something clearly or you want to know more, please feel free to reach out to us. If you want to get in contact with Korliss directly, you can go to her website at yourdisneyhomegirl.com. Korliss, why don't you tell us other places people can find you as well?
Yeah, I'm available on most social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. Thanks, David, for having me. This was an absolute blast.
Thank you. I was going to say too, thank you so much for doing this with me. I now work solo, so it's been so refreshing to work and collaborate with somebody else. It's just fun. It keeps it nice and fresh and different. And like, guys, this will not be the end of Korliss. You will see her again. We got to now brainstorm different ways we can collaborate together. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe out there. And like I always say at the end of my videos, if you can dream it, you can do it.